What screams I'm poor but pretend I'm rich? Buying a second-hand BMW being 22 years old. Apple products. I knew a person that was living in their beat-up Honda that bragged about her horse constantly. She showered with a cold hose at the barn. She was paying $700 per month to board her horse. She didn't have a job. Her parents paid for the horse. This is my sister. We used to own the farm. She lost it to the bank and the new owners let her board the horse there. Her husband pays the bill and he moved back to England a few years ago. People who wear designer clothes, who clearly have no fashion taste. Sex changes. Good handbag, cheap or worn out shoes. Wearing Gucci, Supreme or other designer clothes. Owning a Lexus or Mercedes or BMW and it doesn't work like normal and you gotta use a screwdriver, an old TV antenna, and the Fred Flintstone maneuver to get it started on every third Saturday of the month. And when people ask you say with pride, oh you know me, I roll in a Mercedes. Driving a B class, 1/2/3 series, A1/3 from previous seasons with huge rims and some bad taste paint job. Taking pictures of yourself with a huge sum of money. People in suburbs with houses they can't afford and cars they make payments on, with student loan debt, while being less than 2 paychecks away from not being able to pay the mortgage but still going to church and smiling and having 3 kids, 2 on purpose and the last on accident but still the newest TVs and technology with maxed out credit cards that you just try not to think about. But still naturally making their kids go to college before they know what they want to do because it might look bad if their kids didn't go to a good college after high school. At least in hindsight it seemed like my parents cared way too much about appearances to do what was best for our family. But I feel like that's most people trying to keep up with the Joneses in a broken system. I hope more people can wake up and make better choices. I know I'm trying to. Living in Serbia and most other Balkan countries. Why are people shitting on iPhones? I have owned Apple products since the beginning, but I'm also PC/Android fluent. I've used my upgrades to my advantage for myself and my daughter for our iPhones for years because I'm responsible with my plan and loyal to my carrier. I don't understand all the iPhone shade, so I can only assume. Hate much? Geez. Fake diamond teeth. In Eastern Europe it is phones, latest Galaxy or iPhone. So you buy €1,200 phone and take a bus to work. Usually your salary is €800. Friends who buy all that fake LV purses and fake designer handbags, wallets, sunglasses. I tell them when I see people with a designer purse I assume it's fake because they wouldn't be in the same place they go or be driving basic model cars like them, and I tell them everyone else who sees them with it on knows it's fake too. They disagree. They think everyone sees them and thinks it's real. It's like the emperor's new clothes. Shitty tattoos of dollar signs. Custom number plates. Getting a tattoo of a dollar sign. Well, I used to have a work colleague that would go to all the festivals and put on all the brands. Yves Saint Laurent, Gucci, Armani, you name it. Had an iPhone, stunk like a perfumery. Ate 2 pieces of bread with ketchup for breakfast, lunch and dinner every single day because he couldn't afford food. Was always late on his payments. Never returned the money he borrowed, and once he had enough cash for a trip he managed to get stranded in Turkey because he misread the conditions of his voucher and didn't get the money he was hoping to get. Also, I have 2 special neighbors. One drives a Maserati once or twice a month because he can't afford the gas and repairs. But it's nice to have one. The other sometimes drives a Rolls. I don't know where the dude gets the cars, maybe from his work. But parking a Rolls Royce out on the street isn't very smart. Clothes with high-end designer logos on them, especially the mainstream ones. Posting pictures of your expensive car that's clearly on finance. An old friend was living with her parents, bought a really old Range Rover and proceeded to sit it in her driveway for 10 months for Instagram pictures. The car wasn't roadworthy and she couldn't afford to register it. Being a dick to the server at Applebee's. Gucci clothes. Constantly talking about cryptocurrency. Owning an iPhone while working a low-paid job in India. Here in Finland even the poor people can feel a bit rich because all is good. Designer clothes. Most people I see wearing them spend half their pay on just clothes and struggle to get by, but it's right 'cause they get to look rich even though they're poor. If half the people that spent all their money on clothes to look rich invested it instead, they could actually be rich. Loud car. People who are rich tend to drive quietly or have cars that are not so loud. Bentleys for example. The apartment I live in has cracks in the wall and the toilet flush is broken, but I sometimes wear a Rolex to feel better about myself. Commenting on what other people wear / giving fucks about when someone last wore something. Buying an Audi or BMW. Yelling at the cashier about a couple of cents or nickels. Souped up cars, especially the fake hair intake decal Jones. Adding noisy exhaust pipes and such mods to basic ass cars. Designer clothing that prominently displays the label / logo. Judging people who are pretending to be rich. People who eat at the Cheesecake Factory. Posting anything related to a daily grind / getting bread. The more flame emojis used, the poorer they are. Middle schoolers. Cause. Bit late to the party but Balenciaga shoes while living in a council house. UK folks will know what I mean. Wearing expensive stuff people don't realize, but a lot of rich people just dress casually. Picture on your private jet, which is a glorified Uber paid per trip and most commonly shared with a few other internet celebrities. Voting Republican in the US. Funny thing is, if you meet actual really rich people, they tend to dress like farmers and don't tend to show off their wealth. Voting Conservative. Buying anything plastered with a designer's logo. Me. People on Reddit. Dressing in unnecessary expensive clothes that you can see are expensive. Being a millionaire doesn't come from spending money but keeping money. Oh, these expensive looking chairs. $50 from IKEA. Rich people tend to dress more normal, they flex with their money in other ways. Buying people drinks at the bar and tipping 10%. Wearing a cloth mask that says Gucci on it in Dollar Tree. Lol. Just reading through this thread and glad I don't do any of this. Rose gold. Anything with Supreme on it. Flexing your leased cars. iPhones on minimum wage. We're in all designer clothes. Big ass shiny rims on a 1999 Camry. The mirror selfie with latest iPhone. An Instagram influencer, 3 drops deep on some MDMA, in a rare moment of honesty. Expensive rims on a hoopty. Too many people here are mistaking someone liking a certain thing and putting their money into it with pretending to be rich. If someone really likes a certain kind of bag or is really into shoes or cars or something and has been saving up for them because they like it, let them get the fucking thing and be happy about it. When your car lease is more than your mortgage or rent. Buying the latest and best iPhone every year. DM for more info on how to get rich, like insert some person's name if you follow his guide on how to get rich. Look, I made $5 in 2 seconds. You can make an easy 1,000 in an hour if you follow these 4 easy steps. Designer clothes. All my rich friends don't wear them. It's the poorest people I see dressed in Gucci etc. A white Audi driven by someone in their 20s screams I'm spending a third of my monthly income on leasing this. Wearing expensive clothes and eating cheap food. The amount of people I met at university who'd wear designer clothes but lived off packet ramen. I used to work with a guy who was what I'd call a bling chav. He spent all his money on expensive watches and stuff to look rich, which kept him poor. What he probably didn't realize is that doing so made it even more obvious he was poor. A Louis Vuitton anything. Brand new expensive car, truck worth more than his annual income, for which he pays double-digit interest rate over 7 years. I have 50 shares of GME. Those videos where the dude pretends to be poor, see if the girl will go out with him, then reveals he has a fancy car to try to catch gold diggers. I just assume okay, so you're probably poor and a manipulative misogynist. Spending $200+ on shitty shoes. Aftermarket spoilers. This question seems a bit shitty, to be honest.